I'm very thankful that many kids my age are wanting to change their lives. They're wanting to stop being conditioned in the way that society is conditioning them to be, which is weak, emotionally controlled, feminine boys. That's what society wants you to be. And as a Christian, I don't think this is the way we should go. I think as Christians, we should be biblically masculine, which is completely different from the masculinity that self-improvement teaches, and also completely different from the masculinity that the feminist movement, that type of stuff, masculinity that they're pushing. So how do you actually undergo this change? How do you fix the conditioning that you've been conditioned? How do you fix the life that you used to live? Well, it's going to be very difficult because most of the time, if you want to change, you're going to have to sacrifice something. And most of the time, the thing you're going to have to sacrifice is the thing that you love most, the thing that you enjoy doing the most, the habit that you enjoy doing the most. And for me, even to this day, that habit is video games. I think truly that if I want to make the biggest change in my life, I've got to completely cut out video games. I've been playing way too much the past year. I went a whole year without playing video games, but I kind of replaced that with YouTube. So look at your life, and pretty often you will find that the thing that you need to change, you know you need to change. You just don't want to do it. And change is going to take a lot of time. It took me about a year and a half from saying that I believe in God to actually being a Christian and making these videos about Christianity. Actually reading like the first Bible page, although I think I read Genesis pretty early on. But I only read the first few chapters, so I wasn't reading very much of it. And so write a list down of all the bad habits you have, and then circle the top three, the three that you know are causing the most negativity in your life, the most negative impacts on your health, on your mental health, on everything in your life, especially with sins. And then circle the one that you're going to focus on for the next month, the next 90 days, the next year maybe if it takes you that long. Find the one thing, the biggest thing that's impacting you the most. And for me right now, I think that's video games. And make a plan to completely eliminate that from your life. Not 1 hour a day, not 1 hour a week, not 10 minutes a month, not 1 minute a year, but completely eliminate it from your life. I've found that, at least with me, and I think with many other people, if not everybody, if you do a little bit of a bad habit, you're going to want to do more. You're going to want to desire more. And so even if you don't do more of it, why would you want more of a temptation to do that thing? And I think sadly people are making excuses online as to why, video games and certain bad habits are okay. If you only do a little bit about them, it's all about balance. You got to have a cheat meal every now and again. But I think these cheat meals, these 1 hour a day video game habits are just going to either lead us to go right back to the bad habit that we had where you're playing video games for 6 hours a day again. And the cheat meals are going to make you have even more cheat meals. And even if they don't, they're going to have the temptation to do so. And you're just forcing yourself to go through more temptation than you're already going through. And so that might cause you to sin in another area. And so this is the last thing I want you to do. I want you to get out a piece and paper. I want you to write down the thing that is causing you the most negative impacts in your life. Write that thing down. Write down the steps you're going to take every single day in order to solve this. So with video games, it's very easy. It's very simple the way you can try and fix it. Let's say you're playing about 3 hours of video games every single day, or at least make that your limit. 3 hours is plenty. You can go from 10 hours to 3 hours very easily. Maybe it's only 5. So let's say 5. Let's say you're playing 10 hours a day. Let's say it's like summertime or whatever. Then I want you to go from 5 hours a day to 4 hours and 45 minutes. And then 3 days later, 4.5 hours. 3 days later, 4 and a quarter. and you just keep dropping it by 15 minutes every single 3 days, every single week, whatever, however long it takes you, eventually you'll get to zero. You can even go all the way down to 30 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day to zero. I think from 5 minutes to zero is going to be really easy. You could just skip that, but you still see the point. It's just like in the gym, whenever you have progressive overload, you start with 100 pounds, you add 5 pounds the next week, add 5 pounds the next week. But with this, you're just taking off 5 pounds each week until you get to zero.